ways to make Johnny like you.
We're going live, people.
Honey,
We're a couple minutes
one of the
late.
biggest mistakes that people make is trying to change themselves so that somebody else will like them.
Where in the world?
In a way, that's a kind of a lie. Deep down inside of all of us, there's a sense of trueness telling us who we really are. Both your Paul and I want you to be your own true self. Because we love you, Laura.
Little House on the Prairie, one of my favorite shows. Go ahead and pause
Not
this.
the best the first day. He said I was a pretty good runner.
Good.
Uh-oh, it's not working.
Now, will you come down and give me a hand to supper?
It's not stopping. Come on, you turkey.
Mom,
What's up, y'all?
Well, it's not stopping. My phone
I took to the
Roku app isn't working.
I know that.
I'm trying. Open it again. See if that works. Still not working. Okay. Family room.
She was just as cute as she could
It
be.
says it's
Trying to
connected.
figure out
Why is
ways.
it not? Okay, dang, it takes forever. Okay, y'alls. We are in Deuteronomy again. So Deuteronomy chapter 15 and 16.
How old is he?
Look at this.
14, 15.
Well, he's gonna get Miss Beadle help, and that's what she's there for.
Mary was just trying to be nice.
Well, I don't mind.
Okay. He always wants to show us a bunch of previews of everything. Okay, we got Deuteronomy 15 and 16 and John chapter 14, verses 1 to 14. So
I want to
Deuteronomy.
get this over with.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm really tired.
Well, stop being tired then.
What? I can't help that I'm a living thing on earth that needs rest. What do you want from me?
I don't know for anything. I don't think I ever asked you for anything else. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Weren't you just sleeping in the middle of the day on spring break, doing nothing except for VR headset and napping, and then you're tired? You have things on.
I was thinking maybe I could put cucumbers on here.
That's bad. Okay.
Cucumbers work on here?
No.
Dang it.
Cucumbers help swelling under the eyelid, under the eye, like right there, right here under.
I don't know. It's more the shut ass.
Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 15. Debts canceled every 7 years. That's even true for if you buy a house and you can't pay it and you go into foreclosure, you have really bad credit for 7 years. So the 7 year having bad credit after foreclosure is the same as right here, Deuteronomy chapter 15. Debts canceled every 7 years. At the end of every 7 years, thou shalt grant a release of debts. And this is the form of the release. Every creditor who has lent anything to his neighbor shall release it. He shall not require it of his neighbor or his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. Of a foreigner you may require it, but you shall give up your claim to what is owed by your brother, except when there may be no poor among you, for the Lord will greatly bless you in the land which the Lord your God is giving you to possess as an inheritance. Only if you carefully obey the voice of the Lord your God, to observe with care all these commandments which I command you today. For the Lord your God will bless you, just as he promised you. You shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. You shall reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over you. Generosity to the poor. If there is among you a poor man of your brethren within any of the gates in your land, which the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not harden your heart nor shut your hand from your poor brother, but you shall open your hand wide to him and willingly lend him sufficient for his need, whatever he needs. Beware lest there be a wicked thought in your heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and your eye be evil against your poor brother, and you give him nothing, and he cry out to the Lord against you, and it become sin among you. You shall surely give to him, and your heart should not be grieved when you give to him. Because for this thing the Lord your God will bless you in all your works and in all to which you put your hand. For the poor will never cease from the land. Therefore I command you, saying, you shall open your hand wide to your brother, to your poor and your needy in your land. The law concerning bond servants. If your brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, is sold to you and serves you 6 years, then in the 7th year you shall let him go free from you. And when you send him away free from you, you shall not let him go away empty-handed. You shall supply him liberally from your flock, from your threshing floor, and from your winepress. From what the Lord your God has blessed you with, you shall give to him. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you. Therefore, I command you this thing today. And if it happens that he says to you, I will not go away from you, because he loves you, and your house, since he prospers with you, then you shall take an awl and thrust it through his ear to the door, and he shall be your servant forever. Also to your female servant you shall do likewise. It shall not seem hard to you when you send him away free from you, for he has been worth a double hired servant in serving you 6 years. Then the Lord your God will bless you in all that you do. The law concerning firstborn animals. All the firstborn males that come from your herd and your flock you shall sanctify to the Lord your God. You shall do no work with the firstborn of your herd, nor shear the firstborn of your flock. You and your household shall eat it before the Lord your God year by year in the place which the Lord chooses. But if there is a defect in it, if it is lame or blind or has any serious defect, you shall not sacrifice it to the Lord your God. You may eat it within your gates. The unclean and the clean person alike may eat it, as if it were a gazelle or a deer. Only you shall not eat its blood. You shall pour it on the ground like water. Deuteronomy chapter 16, the Passover reviewed. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover to the Lord your God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord your God brought you out of Egypt by night. Therefore, you shall sacrifice the Passover to the Lord your God from the flock and the herd in the place where the Lord chooses to put his name. You shall eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread with it. That is the bread of affliction. For you came out of the land of Egypt in haste. This you may remember the day in which you came out of the land of Egypt all the days of your life. And no leaven shall be seen among you in all your territory for 7 days, nor shall any of the meat which you sacrificed the first day at twilight remain overnight until morning. You may not sacrifice the Passover within any of your gates which the Lord your God gives you, but at the place where the Lord your God chooses to make his name abide. There you shall sacrifice the Passover at twilight, at the going down of the sun, at the time you came out of Egypt. And you shall roast and eat it in the place which the Lord your God chooses. And in the morning you shall turn and go to your tents. 6 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day there shall be a sacred assembly to the Lord your God. You shall do no work on it. The Feast of Weeks reviewed. You shall count 7 weeks for yourself. Begin to count the 7 weeks from the time you begin to put the sickle to the grain. Then you shall keep the Feast of Weeks to the Lord your God with the tribute of a free will offering from your hand, which you shall give as the Lord your God blesses you. You shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your son and your daughter, your male servant and your female servant, the Levite who is within your gates, the stranger and the fatherless, and the widow who are among you, at the place where the Lord your God chooses to make his name abide. And you shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and you shall be grateful to observe these statutes. The Feast of Tabernacles reviewed. You shall observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days when you have gathered from your threshing floor and from your winepress. And you shall rejoice in your feast, you and your son and your daughter, your male servant and your female servant, and the Levite, the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates. 7 days you shall keep a sacred feast to the Lord your God in the place which the Lord chooses. because the Lord your God will bless you in all your produce and in all the work of your hands, so that you surely rejoice. 3 times a year all your males shall appear before the Lord your God in the place which he chooses, at the feast of unleavened bread, at the feast of weeks, and at the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty-handed. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord your God, which he has given you. Justice must be administered. You shall appoint judges and officers in all your gates, which the Lord your God gives you, according to your tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. You shall not pervert justice. You shall not show partiality, nor take a bribe, for the bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and twists the words of the righteous. You shall follow what is altogether just, that you may live and inherit the land which the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not plant for yourself any tree as a wooden image near the altar which you build for yourself to the Lord your God. You shall not set up a sacred pillar which the Lord your God hates. John chapter 14, verses 1 to 14. Okay. The way, the truth, and the life. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. Thomas said to him, Lord, we do not know where you are going, and how can we know the way? Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. The Father revealed, if you had known me, you would have known my Father also, and from now on you know him and have seen him. Philip said to him, Lord, show us the Father, and it is sufficient for us. Jesus said to him, have I been with you so long, and yet you have I been with you so long, and yet you have not known me, Philip? He who has seen me has seen the Father. So how can you say, show us the Father? Do you not believe that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak to you, I do not speak on my own authority, but the Father who dwells in me does the works. Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father in me, or else believe me for the sake of the works themselves. The answered prayer. Most assuredly I say to you, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he will do also. And greater works than these he will do, because I go to my Father. And whatever you asked in my name, that I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask anything in my name, I will do it. Wow. That was bomb. Okay, guys, we'll see you tomorrow for day 85. God bless.
Gotta go to sleep. Night.